Some women are simply born rich, confident, and naturally magnetic to their desires. Let's be clear, this podcast is not for them. However, if you're a soul-driven, visionary, or entrepreneurial woman who's been on a mission to learn how to create a better future bursting to come out of you, welcome to my world. I'm Jo Warwick, and this is Rich, Sexy, and Free. I've dedicated most of my career to helping women get to their core power and unlock the missing pieces for their own unique success. You may already know me as the author of The Big Book of Love. With 30 years experience in psychology, embodiment, manifesting, and energetics, we will be exploring together and with guests all things mindset, self-expression, flow of money and love in your life. The keys to becoming rich, sexy, and free. So if this excites you, don't forget to like and subscribe on your favorite platform so you can stay up to date with the podcast. Let's now dive into today's episode. Hi, and welcome to Rich, Sexy, and Free. And this is Jo Warwick, and we're into episode 2. And it's so wonderful to have you join me. So today we are diving into just because it's not perfect, it doesn't mean it can't be good. Now, of course, we live in a society that is quite heavily driven still around things being perfect. And one of the things I have learned over my extensive career as a business owner, as a business coach, as an energy healer, but also from the beginning of my career training for the Olympics, is that perfection gets in the way. The hunt of perfection, trying to have perfection, it totally and utterly gets in the way of the flow. It gets in the way of your experience of life. It gets in the way of your success. Now, I started doing improv comedy about 2 years ago. And I have to say, it's been one of those amazing opportunities which has helped me remind myself about the importance of just doing things and not worrying about perfection. That you've got to get it out there. You've got to try it. You've got to be in it. The one thing about doing improv comedy is that you cannot hold on to the idea of perfection. And when you do, you stop the creative flow. You stop the fun, the joy, the pleasure. You stop what is supposed to be coming out of you, and you don't serve the other person that you're doing the scene with. You don't serve the audience. You have to relax and enjoy yourself to allow it to come through. And the more that you do that, the better the scene, the better it is for the audience, the more fun that happens. And the more that you do it, the better you become. Now, is this something that you struggle with, the holding on to the idea of perfection? I mean, oh my gosh, we only have to look at social media once again, where you look at other women and the overproduction, the over-manufacturing of the ideal life, the way that they look, the perfect picture, can really hit those trigger points within. Do I have to be perfect to receive love, to receive money, to have a successful business? I'm here to tell you, no. You've got to feel that you are enough no matter what and find your cruise point. Now, when I wrote my first book, The Big Book of Love, when it first was published back in 2016, it didn't matter how many times it was edited and looked at and did all of that. It was still full of typos. And yet it was out there. And when we are in a critical energy, when we are critical about ourselves, we only ever criticize others. We have very high expectations of perfection. And so we stop actually doing anything. We judge others. We stop people coming into our lives for love, for relationships, as clients. We stop things because we're so busy judging whether they are at our high standard of whatever that perfection is. Now, of course, it didn't stop my book sales. People still bought my books all over the world. People still loved the work. It still happened. It was still jam-packed full of incredible insights based on 40 years of life and amazing experiences. As a psychotherapist, it is a honed piece of work. And yet, when it was rewritten and a second edition was put out in 2020, so 4 years later, I realized that I had more I wanted to say about sex and about intimacy and about our society and the masculine and feminine energy. And so I did another version. And it was edited again, professionally edited. I had lots and lots of people still look at it And there were still typos. Yeah. And it didn't matter. And it challenged myself. I was like, oh, am I still holding on to an idea of perfection? Now, the Big Book of Love still sells. It's been selling nonstop since 2016. It's sold in many forms and is available now in print. It's in Kindle. It's in audio. It's still available. It's still changing lives, transforming lives. It's still a cult book. It is a book that is full of absolute gold, but it's not perfect. But did that stop me? No. Did it stop me when I was training for the Olympics? Yes. Did the idea of perfection get in the way of my success? Yes, because I did not have the mindset that I have now. I didn't have the maturity that I had now. As I was training, I was professionally training from 17. Before that, I was from the age of 15. I was already competing and working for people, etc. But from 17, I trained professionally. And the expectation of everyone around me when you're going for that level, even as you're working up, the expectation of perfection got in the way, deeply got in the way. So I gave myself such high standards that I was holding myself to. I just got paralysis. I was terrified of making mistakes and fucking up and falling off. But instead of the learning process, which is exactly what we go through when we are like learning to walk, as a really good example. When you learn to walk, of course, you have none of this bullshit about whether it's okay to fall down or not fall down and make mistakes and blah, 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 blah. So, of course, you stumble around, you grab things, you fall on your knees, you get back up again, you grab onto stuff until you get better and better and better and better and better. And that's how you get better at things. You master by the action. And yet I still see so many women stuck, so busy, stuck in an endless self-proving, self-development. I've got to be of a certain level before I can have what I want. So instead of the idea that they were already born perfect, they were already born divine. There's already a part of you that's aligned with the universe, already divine. Your soul already knows. And the joy is in the unfolding and the perfection and the growing. Now, when I did episode 1 of this pod, it wasn't perfect. I used a new software. When it was finished, I realized that the editing had cut a bit short of things, so it's a bit tight. But I didn't get my knickers in a twist. I decided that the next one would be better. The next one would be better. The next one would be better. And that I would definitely say has definitely helped from improv. Oh, the next one will be better. And in fact, it's the fun. Is it in the fun and the flow of doing it? So when you're thinking about yourself, how are you holding yourself back instead of realizing that it's the doing and then the doing it again and doing it again, doing it again? And whether that is going on dates, having relationships, spending time with people, getting better intimacy, saying yes in your job, saying yes, putting yourself out there on social media for clients, or selling in other ways, or saying yes to speaking. It never happens unless you just say yes and do it anyway. In my millionaire mindset program, one of the trainings in that is all about, that very successful people, millionaires, etc., usually have an attitude of fuck it. Why not? Fuck it. And that has helped me. I would definitely say that for me, that came through from my riding and learning throughout my life as I've traveled and things like that, and done a lot of stuff. I've had 4 companies, I've run companies, I've been managing director, CEO, sales director. I've done all of those things in corporate and in entrepreneurship. And I blogged for 8 years. And actually that taught me a lot as well. I think writing, learning that you write and then you get it better and you edit and you get it better and you get it better. But eventually you just have to put it out there and accept that it's the best it's going to be. Otherwise you can stay in artist paralysis or analysis paralysis, as we say in therapy. This act of just doing, the doing is what makes you better. And instead of holding yourself apart and thinking, oh my gosh, I can't go forward, and whatever level you're at, it doesn't matter what level you're at, the stepping out and the leaning out, I truly believe is the action, that giving it a go and doing it anyway. Because when you speak from your heart, when you speak from your experience, when you speak from your wisdom, when you speak and try and do it, you do your best in that true thing that we're taught as kids. When you do your best, you step out and give it a go. And know that next time it'll always be better, but you don't have to hold on to perfection because people don't need you to be perfect. They need you to be real. They need you to offer your wisdom and your truth and your heart and your soul. They don't need you to, as much as social media will want to tell you, as much as the algorithms and all of those lovely things that we put out, not just media will want to tell you. The truth is, people love you because of who you are, not the way you look. People want to be with you because of what you can offer as a being, as you show up. It's not about how pretty you are and what size you are and how well spoken you are and all of that horseshit. Yes, we are attracted to attractive people, but people are attractive when they bring their soul forward. And my gosh, I have been talking about this for a very long time, but people are attractive because of their soul and their light and their interest in you and their vibrancy, which is the key part, of course, rich, sexy, and free. It's the part of being sexy. That attraction is about that bringing your vibrancy forward, bringing the soul, your truth, your energy, your excitement, your lust for life, bringing your vibrancy for life, your sexuality, your sensuality, the truth of you is what makes you magnetic and exciting and energized and makes people want to be around you and makes you attractive in your work, makes you attractive in your life, makes you attractive in your business or in any area because you're bringing you to the table. And it's okay to do that. So something for you to think about as we wrap up today. Where are you holding yourself back for perfection? Where are you holding yourself to ridiculous standards that are not necessary? Actually, one thing I just want to say before we wrap up is having worked with so many women, and my work has been for many years, was about the good girl, which is much more mainstream now. Good girls hold themselves to these high expectations because they feel like if they're not perfect, it equals death. It equals abandonment. It equals terror. And so I'm not saying doesn't have roots that are deep. I totally get those deep roots. I am somebody who's had to work through every single one of those stages. But I also want to challenge you to say that, as I did in the first episode, where you started from does matter, but it doesn't have to matter forever. Perfectionism might have been and probably is a survival mechanism for you, something you were striving for because the fear that failure meant possible death. Because when you're a child, when there isn't anybody around, if you got abandoned, if there's not enough, if you're not loved, it does equal death. Your body knows that. But your mind now as an adult, your life experience, you know that failure is not going to equal death. You know that it's not going to equal abandonment. It's not going to have the same fear base that it needs to. So my encouragement to you is to challenge yourself and to learn how to step forward a little more. If you haven't got the Big Book of Love, do head on over and grab it from bigbookoflove.com. In lots of different ways, it will help you to step out of your perfectionism. And yes, you can enjoy any typos that you find in the second edition. Celebrate them, because if you find them and they don't trigger you, you know that you're not stuck in perfectionism. And if they do trigger you, then celebrate that too, because it's highlighting that you're stuck in perfectionism. Yeah. Instead of seeing the depth of the work, it is always a sign that critical part of us is a sign that we're not letting life in. We're not allowing ourselves to be rich, sexy, and free. We're not allowing ourselves to receive deeply. We are stuck in a defensive mode. So utilize that. So look in your world where you are judging as judging yourself. So it's been an interesting conversation today. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you are. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And remember, you can always head over to richsexyandfree.com. I have a beautiful curated video playlist to bring you into being rich, sexy, and free. Go and subscribe for it from richsexyandfree.com. It's been great to connect with you today. But before you leave, if you haven't already, don't forget to come and be part of the Wealthier Woman community. And if you want to find out more about how I can help you personally, or check out any of my books, products, or coaching packages, just simply go ahead and visit richsexyandfree.com. And I look forward to seeing you next week on the podcast.